tell us something that's brand sparkly new, and I can tell from that sigh.
Can you?
It's likely to be Office Christmas Party.
Seasonal treats ahoy. So we've already had Bad Santa 2.
Is this the one with Jennifer Aniston in? Mm-hmm. That's kind of all we need to know.
No, actually, Jennifer Aniston is the best thing in this film.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we've already had Bad Santa 2, which, as you heard from listeners' emails, not just from me, is really terrible. And Almost Christmas, which actually wasn't that bad, but wasn't that good. Hopes were high for this from Josh Gordon and Will Speck because
they weren't. No, they weren't.
They were because they made Blades of Glory, which is
okay. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there we
hopes
go.
Were high for this.
Hopes were high for this.
Yes,
Thank you very much. They also
great.
made The Switch, which was hopes went down again, which had Jennifer Aniston and Jason Bateman. So both of them are back here. So Bateman is working at Xenotech, where he does all the hard work, while his goofy boss, played by TJ Miller, does very little hard work. Kate McKinnon is the stuffy human resources boss who doesn't want anyone in the office to have fun, but it's coming up to Christmas, so the goofy boss wants to have a Christmas party, at which point Jennifer Aniston, who is his sister, turns up. They've sort of inherited the company from their father. She is the really sort of, tough-nosed martial arts expert, comes in and sorts everybody out, says, your office is underperforming, it's really terrible, there are going to be redundancies, I'm going to close the place down, and whatever else you do, you're not going to have a Christmas party. Okay? That's how it's going to work, bucko.
Is there anything else?
Actually, yes. This is a sample cheese board for a holiday mixer tonight.
You're having a Christmas party tonight?
Oh, it's not a Christmas party. It's a non-denominational holiday mixer. More inclusive.
It's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening because it happens at 5:30 in the afternoon. It's just a small thing that's really important to all of us, but trust me, it's gonna suck.
No, it's not gonna suck because it's canceled.
What?
All branch Christmas parties are canceled.
All right, it's canceled.
Clay, I mean it.
Me too, Carol. Guys, the holiday mixer is canceled.
Yes. Hey, idiot, I'm looking right at you. I saw that. You whispered to the farty cheese lady. Well,
That's one of the funnier lines in the film.
Farty cheese lady is quite a good... I'd like to play the role of farty cheese lady.
And you then made the farty cheese lady noise with your creaky chair.
If we were going to do a panto at the end of the season, I want to play that role.
That was very well done. So it then turns out that the only way they can save the company is that they have to land an absolutely huge contract. And the only way they can land an absolutely huge contract is to throw a massive office Christmas party, contrary to the expressly given instructions of Jennifer Aniston's character. And that's pretty much it. Now, I have to say that even from a plot point of view, it feels like the writers don't believe that. They just go, what are we going to do? Big Christmas party. Yeah, what's the excuse? They go, because otherwise they've got to land a contract. Big Christmas party. And then it basically just becomes the big, noisy office Christmas party. So people drinking, eggy nogs out of an obscenely sculpted ice statue. People photocopying their bottoms in the office.
No one photocopies bottoms anymore, do they?
Well, apparently, according to this film, I don't think, does anybody actually have a photocopier anymore? Doesn't everybody just photograph things on their phone? I mean, who knows? The film appears to be oddly old-fashioned. People throwing stuff out of windows, people putting drugs into the snow blasters that serve massive plot points. And the problem with the film is that it becomes increasingly shrieky as the party becomes increasingly shrieky, and it becomes increasingly not funny, which, considering it wasn't very funny at the beginning, when there's a scene very, very early on in which our two sort of bumbling anti-heroes knock over a massive Christmas tree in a department store, and it's not very funny. You just think, somebody else has got to clear that up. And I then spent the rest of the movie thinking...
Classic parenting.
Exactly, thinking, human resources skills. And the problem with it is, firstly, Jason Bateman, who I think is... Every time I see Jason Bateman, I want him to be good again. And he keeps not being. He keeps being in films which aren't good. I think I like him. I think he's funny. And yet, why isn't he funny? Then, in the case of McKinnon, which is the biggest disappointment, I mean, so brilliant in Saturday Night Live and has been so much a part of everybody's life this year because of all those Saturday Night Live political sketches. And yet, oddly enough, was probably the weakest link in Ghostbusters, which didn't really, know how to use her talents the best. And in the case of this, she's given this stuffed shirt human resources character role, which really isn't very funny. Farty cheese lady is about as funny as it gets. And okay, that tickled your fancy for a little while, but it's not enough for a 90-minute and then the rest of it movie. So it's like I mean, this time last year we had the night before, which felt like a hangover without having the party. This just feels like the hangover. And I know, I understand again that perhaps my ear for comedy is not as perfectly attuned as other people's, but I'm also aware of the fact that I saw it in a screening in which laughter was thinner on the ground than snow on the coast of Cornwall. And, frankly, that's thin.